welcome back to another exciting episode of the podcast.
Like I said, I'm from South Africa. Call myself the Ox. 31 years old. I'm from a small farming community in Bloemfontein, in the Free State, for everybody or anybody that's been to South Africa. It's around about in the middle of South Africa. Competed at World's Strongest Man last year, won 2019 Africa's Strongest Man, and a few weeks back got my invite.
Very
for
cool.
the
How did you get involved in the
really excited about
Strongman?
that. Yeah, it's actually, I used to play rugby. I know rugby is not that big in the US, but here in South Africa, rugby is quite big. Always loved to go to the gym, and been training now for about 16 years, like weight training. And one of my friends told me in the gym one time, listen, this comp is coming up, so let's train for it. And I'm like, yeah, cool, let's do it. So yeah, that's about how I got involved, and then I really liked it. I've always been strong. So yeah, and then from there, it just took off. Always watched Strongman on ESPN in the old days, but never thought about doing it.
That's
never
awesome.
Thought I would be good enough.
As far as in the Strongman competitions that you've competed in, do you have a event that you liked more than others?
Yeah, I'd definitely say the more static, heavy events, like the deadlift, obviously. But I really enjoy a yoke and a farmer's walk as well. But it needs to be heavy. I don't like running around. I'm probably over 400 pounds now, so yeah. I don't like running around. But anything heavy,
Very
actually,
cool.
yeah,
So,
that I can pick up and move a short bit.
When
I love
you
those
decided
events.
to become a strongman, was there a competitor that you looked up to, or somebody that kind of inspired you to do the type of events that you do?
Yeah, definitely. Well, Sejunus Savickas has been my Saviscus. I really look up to him. I was fortunate enough to meet him last year. I was like a little boy. Actually met him in the elevator at Worlds, and I was shocked. I wanted to go down, but I didn't know what to do. So I actually just stood out of the door. When the door opened, I saw him there, and just froze like hello, hello. And then the door closed again, and he went down. And then I pressed the button. Obviously, I went down as well. But yeah, no, Sejunus Savickas definitely, or Saviscas. I'm not sure how to pronounce his name or surname, but yeah, definitely he's my idol. And yeah, just his strength and his ability to stay in the sport so long.
So, other
For
than
me, it's
strongman competition, have you
mind-blowing.
competed in anything like the Arnold Classic or anything like that?
Yes, I've competed in South Africa, the Arnold's Africa, in 2018. The Pro-Am show, I actually won that show, and that's where I got my pro card. So yeah, from there, I think the Arnold's gave me a huge platform to carry on from there. I competed in the States in 2018 as well, the official Strongman Games, and that was my first international show going abroad. It's quite an eye-opener. It's quite something to get used to travel and then compete. But that was fun. And yeah, like I said, last year, World's Strongest Man. So yeah,
There you go.
in a couple of weeks' time, it will be Cardiff, the World Deadlift Championship,
so-
Lions Live.
For your
break
training
the world
regimen, do you have a certain type of training regimen as far as like your nutrition, the workouts that you do, anything like that?
Yeah, no, definitely. I think there's a big misconception, which I had in any case, that a strongman can eat what he wants. For me, that's not really the case. You have to eat a lot, but you still have to eat healthily. So yeah, it made a huge difference for me. I started working with the guy's name is Quentin Hendricks from Superboy. He's doing my nutrition for me, my supplementation, and that excelled me up to another level when I sorted that out. So for any prospective strongman, strong woman, any strength sport, watch your diet. It's quite important, or very important. Otherwise, you're just wasting your time. And training-wise, definitely, I train about 4 times a week, and I have my compound lifts I do, and then accessory work around that. Werner Dreyer, South African as well, from One More Fitness Systems, he assists me with that. And then I've got a couple of guys around him as well that help me. But the main thing that I can tell anybody that wants to join the sport, or any sport actually, in my opinion, is just to be consistent. I see a lot of the younger guys, they do something of this and a little bit of that and a little bit of that. You have to be consistent. I've been doing my training program now for about 2-3 years, the same program, with small little tweaks in between, which makes a difference, but my baseline is always the same. So yeah, actually just before we started now, I read a quote that says to rather stay consistent at doing something 10,000 stuff or 10,000 items you can do good, rather do that one thing excellent. And that's what I believe in training as well. Rather do a couple of stuff and then be consistent at that and do it good.
Yeah, definitely.
Doing a lot of stuff.
So
not mastering.
As far as you're traveling, when you travel abroad, whether it be international or somewhere in South Africa, how is that for you, being as big as you are? Is it difficult?
Yeah, it's quite difficult, especially abroad. I mean, in South Africa, it's fine. If I usually travel by car, I don't like flying at all because the seats are too small. Especially the domestic flights, the seats are very small. And the car, it's fine. I mean, you can stop, you can get out a bit, walk around a bit, you can stop and eat, stuff like that. But going abroad, an 11-hour flight, yeah, I don't really fit in the seats, so there's always somebody like next to me, either pushing. If my wife can go along, that's perfect, because then I can push into her. But yeah, no, traveling 11-hour flights, that's horrible. It's horrible. You can't eat enough. You don't get enough water. There's not enough space on the plane. I think that the seats comes to here on my shoulders. So this piece of my shoulder is over the seat, onto the next seat, spilling over. So yeah, no, it's horrible. But it's one of those things. It's my decision to look like
this. That's right. Yes, sir.
So, yeah.
So
just suck it up.
When you're traveling, how hard is it for you to stay on your
it is what it is.
Nutrition regimen?
Yeah, it's quite difficult. Luckily, my nutrition consists mostly of rice and meat. So, it's actually something I learned at Worlds. I didn't do it there, but I saw the other guys doing it. So, I'll do it next time when I travel abroad. You just get like a small rice cooker and you make your own rice. I mean, any meat is fine. There's usually meat at the hotel, so that's fine. But just to get enough, like I said, I take a lot of rice. So, yeah. Just to focus on that and to keep in mind that you are there for a reason. You're not there on a holiday, so you can't eat what you want to. You still have to stick to the plan.
So
yeah, it takes some planning.
During the competitions, is there a person that when you guys go to the World's events or Arnold Classics or anything like that you haven't met that you want to meet?
I'd like to meet Arnold personally. I've only seen him, like he passed in front of me at the Arnold Classic in South Africa, but I'd like to speak to him and I'd really like to attend the Arnold Classic in Ohio and compete there. I think that is definitely on my bucket list and one of my dreams that I want to work towards. As far as other competitors,
definitely, I've heard that from a lot of people that I've talked to. That he's that guy that
definitely
ultimately is the person that most people want to meet in the strongman community. You know. So, do you have any competitions coming up?
Yes, I'm competing the 6th of August in Cardiff, Wales, at the World Deadlift Championships. That's a Giants Live event. I'll only be doing the deadlift, so I want to break the record, the world record, Eddie Hall's record. I want to see if I can do a 505 kg or 510. Not sure what it is to pounds. I think 1,100 and something pounds. I'm not too sure. And then I think that will probably be it for the year. So yeah, it will just depend on how I feel after that event. But Africa's Strongest Man is coming up in November as well.
I'm always curious
but I'm not
when
too
it
sure
comes
that. I'm not fixed on that yet.
What you do, is it like a year-round type of training to get ready for an event, or do you have a certain time frame before an event that you have to get prepared for?
Yeah, I train year-round, so I don't really take off. If I take off, it will be like 4 weeks in a year. But I love training, so I think I don't train heavy all year round. So there's definitely that I train a bit lighter, and I'll switch over to a bit more of a bodybuilding style training in my off season, if I can call it that. But then I'd say around about 12 weeks or 10 weeks before a competition, I'd start to really focus on it, and then just really get myself mentally in the game. I'd say about 10 to 12 weeks. It's more a mental thing for me than anything else.
I can only imagine.
At a certain level, but your mind...
Right, I can only imagine. And I've heard from several different strongman competitors that
you give your mind some rest.
Most of the time, eating is kind of enjoyable, but when you do what you do and you have to consume as much as you do, that it just becomes like a burden, so to speak.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think the hardest part for me is definitely the eating. And yeah, a lot of people say, yeah, but you can eat a lot of food, it's nice, and it is, up to a point. Then it's not nice anymore. If you have to sit with a glass of water and force feed yourself because the food has to go in, then it's not too enjoyable anymore. Or you have the same meal day in, day out. It gets difficult, but at the end of the day, it will all be worthwhile for me to reach my dreams. So it's not a lifestyle for everybody, but I think if you know why you're doing it, then it gets easier. But the food is definitely, it's huge amounts of food that you consume, and you have to consume that amount of food to stay strong and to keep going. Otherwise you feel it. If I miss one meal, or if I'm late with a meal, half an hour, then I feel I need food. So yeah, it's a constant.
Definitely understand it. Yeah,
you need to eat.
I've also heard from several other strongmen that I've talked to that the community as a whole, even though you guys are competing against each other, that you guys help each other out whenever somebody needs help, whether it be training or anything like that.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think that is a lot of the guys, especially the younger guys that starting getting into strongman, they always comment on that. Is that there's such a nice vibe at competitions, and the guys are helping each other out. I mean, if there's a competitor that doesn't have equipment there, and my equipment fits him, I'll borrow my equipment to him. I mean, that's not an issue. Whether it be tacky or my belt or sleeves or straps or whatever, and I know they'll do the same for me. And I think everybody knows what we're going through. It's difficult and it's hard, and that gives you like a type of brotherhood, and it joins the guys together. So I think that's a nice thing about strongman. And if somebody asks my advice if you should do a competition or not, I'll always tell them do the competition, because you learn a lot there from the guys that's there. And just to be around other strongmen and see how the guys do their stuff, and by asking questions, you learn a lot. So rather do more competitions when you're starting out, just to learn and get that experience of competing and meeting guys and seeing how they do stuff, because everybody will help you. There's no
and
ways about
some
that.
of the other stuff that when you
or local,
talk to multiple people, you hear that a lot
out.
of the times a common misconception of being a strongman competitor is that I've heard people call it a hobby or anything like that, but I don't see it that way. I see it as it's kind of like it's a lifestyle, but it's also something that you have to be passionate about, and it's almost like a full-time job. Sometimes two full-time jobs, you know?
No, I fully agree with you. I won't call it a hobby. I think for me personally, it started out as a hobby, and then when I really got into it and when I really understood what it's all about, it definitely it takes over your life, and you can see that a good way or bad way. I mean, it doesn't really matter. But getting up in the morning with a back that's sore or joints that's paining. If you're doing that to yourself as a hobby, I don't really think you should go and have a look in the mirror. But if you know why you're doing it, and like you said, it's a passion, it's worthwhile, and it's not for everybody. But and I think strongman for me has been such a big had such a big influence on my life.
Definitely. So
in various aspects.
I know I found you on, I believe it was Instagram. Are you on any other social media platforms?
Yes, I am on Facebook, Chris van der Linde, just my name and surname. And then I am on TikTok as well, Chris Pro Strongman. So yeah, I need to give some.
I find it a lot easier to use.
My social media. I'm not too keen on social media, but I think Instagram is definitely my main platform.
So, for any of the competitions that you've done or gonna do, say in South Africa or anything like that, are those potentially on YouTube or anything like that?
The South African competitions, they usually have like a live stream. So it will be on Facebook, on the Africa Strongman Union Facebook page. There will be like a live stream. The guys can log into that. And for the 6th of August, that's in Cardiff, that will be at the Motorport Arena. So there's still tickets available as far as I know. And there will be a live stream definitely. I will be posting it on my social media as soon as we have that link. So yeah, the people should definitely have a look at it.
Definitely, I'm looking forward to checking it out.
Awesome competition.
You know, I haven't had the pleasure yet to see anything from South Africa, so I'm looking forward to that. But I don't want to take up too much more of your time. I appreciate you taking time out to chat with me. I know it's a pretty significant time difference between me and where you are, so I appreciate it a lot. It's been a lot of fun. Definitely, I appreciate that. And I'll post it as well.
Yeah, awesome. Thanks for the opportunity. I appreciate it a lot as well. And I'll keep you in the loop for the
Giants
Live.
Yes, sir. Have a great day.
I'll let you know on Instagram what's going on.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Then thank you. Enjoy.